Thanks for downloading this podcast from Radio Kerry. For more, go to radiokerry.ie/podcasts or search iTunes using the keyword Radio Kerry.
Now, St Mary's of the Angels is home to 76 adults with physical and intellectual disabilities and comprises 10 homes on 17 acres of land in Beaufort. Jack Fitzpatrick, chairman of the Parents and Relatives Group of St Mary's of the Angels, with me in studio this morning. We're also going to be speaking to a number of people in relation to this. But Jack, I want to start with you. You made a deputation to South West Municipal District. You're looking for money to develop things to ensure that the centre continues to adhere to HICWA standards. Is that the primary reason why you were there? And what did you tell councillors yesterday?
Well, basically, Jerry, I suppose just before Christmas last year, we had a meeting with HICWA. It was a very good meeting, a very positive meeting, and overall they're very pleased with St Mary of the Angels and with the management and staff over there and the wonderful care the 76 residents have there. However, a couple of issues were raised with us, and one of them was overcrowding, where you have a situation where there are 6 shared bedrooms, and in one particular house there are 8 people sharing 3 bedrooms, and in two other houses there are 7 and 8 people respectively, and there's only one sitting room in each of those houses. And in fairness, you can imagine having 7 adults inside in a sitting room is difficult at the best of times, and where you have people with all kinds of problems, it makes it a lot more difficult. And what we're hoping to do is to build on 2 sitting rooms onto those 2 houses and give the 8 people in the other house their own bedroom. Now, so far we have raised €80,000 the last year and a half. We are delighted that we have been chosen as one of the main beneficiary charities in the Kerry Charity Cycle this year.
Yeah.
And I've actually gone up on a bicycle myself for the first time in 40 years.
Very good.
So I haven't fallen off it yet anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where we are, but we still won't have enough money to do that work, and we approached the County Council to see if they would come in with us and help us in some way.
How much money is needed?
There's a total of 340,000 needed.
Okay, so you have 80,000 raised, so you'll need a helping hand.
We'll need a helping hand, yes.
And this needs to be done in order to keep it at the standard that HICWA require? Well,
yes, because HICWA are very much about the person.
The dignity of the person, the space, their living conditions, their independence and all of that.
Absolutely, yes. And overall, HICWA, I must say, are very, very pleased with St Mary of the Angels and with the care that people are getting there. They were delighted to meet us, and we're very pleased and impressed with the amount of work that we are doing over there. And if we just get this done out, it'll make a huge difference to the future of St Mary of the Angels.
OK, stay with us, Jack. We also have Breda Keane from Ballybunion on the line. Breda's brother, Con, is 40, originally from Lizelton, but living in St Mary of the Angels for the last 30 years. Con has Down syndrome. He is blind and has no speech and is on the autistic spectrum. Breda, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for talking to me this morning.
You're welcome.
Obviously, Con cannot speak for himself, so you're doing the talking for him.
I'm doing the talking, and I will certainly try to do my best, Jerry, but obviously I'm certainly not a public speaker.
Sure.
But I feel, if Con could speak, he would definitely say that they could do with extra space behind. Con is 40 now, and he has been a resident there for over 30 years, and he has thrived in the care of the staff of St Mary of the Angels. He's in one of the bungalows that Jack has referred to. He's in Chalet 1, and there's 7 male adults sharing there with Con. 1 uses a wheelchair, there's 3 using rollators, and there's 3 mobile. But Con is blind, so that brings its own challenges to try and get around. So the extensions are very simple structures. We have plans lodged with the council and drawn up by an architect. There are 2 extensions, 25 metres squared. They would be built onto the existing sitting rooms that they have. They're not conservatories. They're not frivolous things.
Yeah.
They would be used 365 days of the year.
Yeah.
I suppose very simply, like I said to the councillors yesterday, what we would put in them is extra chairs, maybe 2 extra couches, so that they have extra space, that they're not all crowding each other, which causes challenges when you already have challenging behaviour.
Yeah, and I imagine that's the case. And look, that space would transform things really for Con.
It would transform things for Con and the people he's sharing the house with, and for the staff. You know, these staff are amazing people. They don't just care for these people, they love these people. They bring them on every day. Con has thrived since he went in there. He's 30 wonderful years spent there. You know, this is not a big structure. This is not a big ask. These are people that have already severe, profound challenges. So why would you make challenges worse for them by putting them in an overcrowded space?
Yeah.
This would add quality to their lives.
Con likes chairs, apparently.
Con loves chairs. He loves chairs. He loves different couches. He likes nothing better than to tuck his two legs up under him and sit back and relax and chill. And he loves his own space and his own environment. And he gets on fantastic with the staff and with the people that he's sharing the house with. But like Jack said, if you can imagine 7 grown men in one sitting room every day.
Yeah. Yeah, you get
I'm
a picture of what it's like.
Its own story.
Yeah, yeah. And Jack, for you, your son Bernard, who's in his 40s as well, he's been at St. Mary's since he was a very young child. Again, that space, that development would be welcome.
Well, absolutely. Like, it would be lovely for us when we visit Bernard, if he had his own bedroom like that, you could go in and spend a bit of time with him in bed or whatever, rather than being in a shared bedroom. And, 3 in a room at night, if there's one that's having a disturbed night of sleep, well, obviously they're going to
affect the other two
as well. It's tough going, really, and we really feel like that people... We're not against people moving out and leaving the community if they benefit from it, but it's about choice, really. And, to a person, there's nobody really wants to move out, and that's the reality of it. And we have our letter from the HSE, which guarantees people don't have to move out if they don't want to.
Yeah.
So then the option is to enhance and improve St. Mary Angels. A problem I think that there is with trying to get funding from different departments is the ownership of St. Mary Angels. And I think it's important to remember that St. Mary Angels was gifted to the people of Kerry by the Dial family. It was gifted to them, and it was gifted to them for their children with disabilities. And I suppose what I'd really like to see long term, like St. John of God, are the service providers, but they're not really the owners of St. Mary Angels. St. Mary Angels is owned by the people of Kerry.
Yeah.
It would be nice if what I would like to see is the County Council take it over, really.
Yes, in the long run.
In the long run, yes, because I think St. Mary Angels will always never be needed. When I left Castlereagh yesterday morning to come up to Killalogan to meet the County Council, I turned on Radio Kerry, and you were just interviewing that woman from Cork about her son, that had Asperger's.
And had no residential place to go and no services to meet
and
what the needs were.
To hear her saying that that when he was in prison he didn't want to come out. I mean, my God, at this day and age, that somebody would prefer to stay in prison than come out. And there's so much broken in the head service. And, why would you interfere with or bother with St. Mary Angels, which is the one part of it in Kerry that is working perfectly for 76 people, and those that are coming in there for day service as well,
That lack of funding that's affecting that case in Cork we dealt with yesterday, does that underline the mountain you have to climb in trying to get funding in the first place?
Absolutely,
for St. Mary's Angels?
And we understand for the HSE. I met with Mr. Rainey on a number of occasions, and he explained to me the pressures that they are under, trying to get funding, and that they're playing catch up all the time, and that's why we have to look at the County Council spend a lot of money in housing for a lot of people in towns and villages around Kerry, and as I said yesterday to them, there's 420 people in total involved in the daily lives of what is going on in St. Mary Angels, between the school, there's 220 staff, there's 50 children going to school there, you have 76 residents, you have 10 national school teachers, 24 SNAs, and 4 part-time secondary school teachers. It's a huge number of people that are involved there. There's a lot of villages around County Kerry that doesn't have as many people as you have in the community in St. Mary Angels.
Yeah, that's the size of it, I suppose, and that's what they've done. Breda, what did you think of what was said by the councillors in response yesterday?
I was very pleased, and we were delighted to get the opportunity, Jerry. It was a fantastic opportunity. They're all there to support us, and their support is very welcome and needed. I suppose at this stage, we're also going to need money. Like Jack said, we won't be found wanting, and we haven't been found wanting when fundraising. We've raised over 80,000 in a year and a half, which really is phenomenal because we're a very small group. But fundraising alone won't bring St. Mary of the Angels up to HICWA standards in the time frame that we need to bring it up to standard. So we need help. We certainly need government funding, which I don't believe we'll get. So we need funding from whatever source we can get it.
Okay, well listen, I want to thank both of you for talking to us this morning. I know the campaign continues, and you'll hope, Jack, that you get the response that you need in relation to this can happen. If there were a timeline finally, Jack, for if you get the funding, when it could happen, when it could develop, and will you be given space by HICWA to make that happen?
Well, the way HICWA works is that every place has to be registered once every 2 years, and St. Mary the Angels is due to be re-registered again now at the end of this year. So they certainly want to see a good bit of progress between now and then, before they could renew the registration. Could I just say, Jerry, while I am here, is that the Kerry charity cycle, which is a wonderful event, and there are 14 main charities this year. We're one of them, and it's not full yet. And anybody that has a bike, maybe yourself, you might jump up on it and cycle it for some of the wonderful charities.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'd like to say is that next Monday night in the Castlemaine Park in Castlemaine, we're having our annual bingo night, which raises about 5,000 for St. Mary the Angels. So hopefully people come along and play that night.
Okay, Jack, listen, thanks a million for that. And also to Breda Keane from Ballybunion. If you have a view on that, one listener gets in touch, I'd like to say thank you to Jack for working so hard for St. Mary the Angels. Residents that are thriving. The improvements there are huge, from the roads to the paint. So fair play. Great stuff, Jack. Thanks a million.
Thanks for listening to this podcast from Radio Kerry. For more, go to radiokerry.ie/podcasts or search iTunes using the keyword Radio Kerry.